You shove the rest of the hot dog into your mouth and devour it in a very angry fashion. You pull a pack of cigarettes out of your bag and light it. Hopefully, the sweet breath of your addiction will help you calm down. You pull out the tourist map that you bought. You focus on the area of town you're in now. You're really close to James's apartment. You'd think the drive will take you like 3 minutes. Plus, Dave didn't mark it as haunted, which is a big plus. Taking another long, welcome drag on your cig, you roll down your window and let the sunshine in. You start the car and head down Nathan Avenue again. You're probably speeding, but you don't care. James is waiting for you. You hardly have a chance to savor the sweet lake breeze before you pull up to Woodside Apartments. Dave's directions were clear. You can see the name of the place above the shade on the main entrance. It's a fairly nice-looking place, if a bit function over form. Your sense is that while it's not the most ritzy place in town to stay, it's not a rat hole either. But you see something else as you pull up. There's a cop car in front. Lovely. You park your car a little ways away and head inside the closest door, giving the police car as wide a berth as possible. And immediately inside the door, you of course find the cop, 'cause that's just your life today. On a second glance, you recognize him as the cop who woke you from your nightmare. He's talking to a fairly shady-looking character. You can't quite hear what they're saying from all the way back here. You creep up the stairs unnoticed until you can hear the conversation well enough. You know you should probably leave well enough alone, but you are curious. So, Mr. Moretti, you can't think of anything that could be causing this disturbance? You saw the room, Sarge. Nobody's been there for months. I haven't rented it in years now. Last tenants just left, broke the lease, never saw him again. I didn't start hearing the noises till months after that, though, and the downstairs neighbors complained. It was quieter back then. Now sometimes you can hear all the way in the basement. I thought it's the pipes at first, so I picked them. No dice. Officer, I've been in that room in the middle of the night expecting to find a gang or something. It's empty. The noise comes from everywhere in there. It's no prowlers, whatever Miss Cairn thinks. I'd have called you boys myself, but I thought you could do a lick about it. I've lost tenants over it. Well, now that we are involved, I promise to do our best to get the bottom to this, sir. You said before there are only 2 sets of keys to the apartment in question. Would you mind handing one of those sets over to the department? Great. By the sound of it, the apartment is haunted after all. You need to get James and get out of here. You start up the stairs again. Hey, who's up there? Oh, I didn't want to interrupt you guys. Sorry. Hey, Sergeant Van, I found out my uncle lives here. Oh, that's great, miss. Did he call you after all? Actually, I've had pretty much no reception since I got here. This town seems to hate my phone. But anyway, he's waiting for me, so... Of course. Sorry, miss, you can go. Mr. Moretti was just understandably worried about people going near room 208. That cop just said something you really don't like. What's wrong with room 208? Well, you see, it's nothing you need to worry about, miss. You should have known this wasn't going to be simple. The goodbye would be a formality. The landlord is already hustling Sergeant Van away, presumably to go get the keys to that apartment. That apartment. As you head up the stairs, you wonder, can what they were saying be true? If room 208 is the apartment they were talking about, the one that's been empty for years, then how come it was the number on the key you found? The key that said Sunderland. Is James really waiting for you there? It takes you a minute to get to the top of the stairs. You would much rather have taken an elevator. The sight that greets you is another long hallway, as you hadn't seen enough of these to last you a fucking lifetime. At least this one is better lit. The closest door you see is 202, to your left. The doubts that began to plague you on the stairs are worse now, and you're so close to room 208. You want to believe your uncle will be there and everything will be fine. But considering your experience earlier, either something is very wrong with the town, or something is very wrong with you. There's no sense going in unprepared, if there is any chance at all your experience will be like the one in the hotel. You pat down your pockets and go over your possessions mentally, to make sure you didn't forget anything. Letter from Mom, keys, 3 lighters, cell phone, medicine bottle with newspaper, first aid kit, totally ridiculous number of cigarettes, 2 packs of chips, a bunch of sodas, a pocket flashlight, lighter fluid, bottle of wine, key, ring box. Wait a second. You suddenly realize that almost everything you had in the hotel is gone. The string, the lipstick. All you have left are the things you picked up in the hotel restaurant, where you found James's message. Then it hits you. The key is gone! The key to 208! You still have the tag, but the key? You come to a sudden realization you don't fucking care if you have the key or not. What do you need it for anyway? This is your uncle's apartment. If he is home, then he'll let you in when you knock. If he's not home, then you will motherfucking think of something else, possibly involving gratuitous violence to innocent doors. Not that that worked out so well last time. You head down the hallway following the ascending room numbers, and turn right. You round the corner and approach 208, only to find it cordoned off with police tape. You didn't quite expect this, but you probably should have. Now you have to actually decide if you're going to just barge in there. You try to clear your head. It's all taped up. Would James really be there? It's not a smart idea to violate a police line when you know a cop might be lurking around. Oh well, at least you'll leave it for a last-ditch effort. For now, you decide to ask the neighbors if they have seen your uncle around the building. You knock on the nearest door, room 207. The door opens and reveals a huge man in the doorway. He's pale, golden-haired, and nearly naked. Looks like he's recently gotten out of the shower. You're a bit stunned. Whatever you're about to ask him just flies from your mind. You know what? Screw James. You have a new goal in life. Shove this guy back in his room and give him the best time of his life. The two of you engage in a torrid affair, which over time evolves into a deep and lasting relationship. You never hear from your Uncle James again. Game over. Alright, y'all. Did we learn nothing from the Maria incident? Alright, reload.
Can I help you?
My uncle lives next door. Can you tell me why it's all roped off with police tape?
You mean in 208? I didn't know anyone lived there. But yes, I know why. It has been very strange since I moved in a few months ago. I did not see anyone coming in or out of room 208, and yet there's a noise all the time, and a smell. Like someone has got a forge in there, and they are making things with iron, banging, and the smell of heat. But the manager says there is no one there. Also, I get a very bad feeling when I go past that room. I hope you'll not think me foolish, miss. I believe it may be cursed.
I'm beginning to think this whole town may be cursed. Here, have you seen the man in the middle? That's my uncle. I really need to find him.
This is your uncle? I cannot say that I have seen him. Please, miss, could you wait a moment?
He leaves the door open a crack, and you wait outside for him, trying not to tap your toes with impatience. You are eager to get exploring some other avenue to find your uncle. Well, at least this guy's helpful. A little odd, and pretty hot, too. You suppose you could have expected to get a weirdo, just knocking on random people's doors. The man returns after a moment, wearing pants and with his hair back, but still bare-chested. With his hair pulled back, you realize he looks a bit like your uncle. He holds something out to you.
Please, take this, miss. It carries the blessing of the All-Father, Odin. And I have a foreboding that you'll be needing just that.
When he explains what the pendant is, you finally recognize the one that he's wearing, Yggdrasil, the tree of life from Norse mythology. You're sure he means well, and it's a sweet gesture, even if you have no idea what made him decide you needed protection. However, you're pretty sure wearing this would be blasphemy against your own religion. On the other hand, it would be rude not to take it, and you could probably use all the help you can get, considering the way your morning's been going. Thank you. Just thank you. Today has been a weird day already. Or maybe it's just me. Somehow, even though you're out in the normal, real, solid world, this Jay just refuses to let you step back into normality. You file his reaction to the photo away in your mind, with all the other loose curiosities, to be investigated at the next convenient juncture. You pull the pendant on its leather thong over your head, Already today you have on more jewelry than you usually wear. The ring you put on seems to have avoided whatever abyss stole most of your other spoils from the hotel. The rune around your neck, you finally remember your manners and introduce yourself. My name is Vanessa, by the way. Can I give you my phone number in case you see my uncle around?
A pleasure, Vanessa. I am Borje. I am sorry to say I do not own a telephone.
Well, I guess you have to go, and thank you, and have a good day.
You too, Miss Vanessa. I hope you find what you are seeking.
As you bid your farewell, he reaches out, and the two of you grasp hands. His grip is firm and warm and reassuring. You almost wish you didn't have to go. But James is waiting for you. Somewhere. Regretfully, you head away from room 208 and back down the hall. You feel even worse about the idea of barging into 208 than you did before Borje's warning about curses. The only thing left to do is talk to the cop, or maybe the building manager. You'll have one of them escort you into the room so you can see if James left any clue there as to where he might be. The hall where you entered is empty. This is unfortunate, since you were kind of hoping Sergeant Van would still be here, so you can ask him some questions. You wonder if it's worth going to look for him, or if you should formulate a new plan.